wake up and go get it. I just wake up and go get it. I just wake up and go get it. Hey, I just wake up and go get it. Yeah. I'm in the trenches with wolves and the lions and snakes, but I promise I always prevail. Stayed in the heat cause the life that I'm living kept me in the kitchen and put me through hell. Tell me I'm crazy, my mind is in shackles. The warning been it won't be enough cause I'm breaking out. They gon' have to put me under the jail. I'm son of you niggas, don't give a fuck about none of you niggas. Promise that I am not one of you niggas. Test me, if I shoot a pure, guess he look like a lefty. I put it like I'm Gretzky, take to the back like a hefty. All my niggas winning, they never let me. Put you against us and I bet you won't bet me like that. And go get it. I just wake up and go get it. Yeah, I just wake up and go get it. I just wake up and go get it. I just wake up and go get to the bag that I'm in, to the paper. I get to the wreck like a Lego. Wake up and go get it. I just wake up and go get it. Yeah, I just wake up and go get it. 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 I just wake up and go get to the back, to the moon, to the back, but I get to the rack like a Laker. Wake up and go get it. Yeah, I just wake up and go get it. Yeah, I'm stacking my bread now. She say I ain't think, but she giving me head now. Your bank account, that's a letdown. You was talking shit. Nigga, sit down. For the boys coming, you get set down. AK, get you wet down. Can't touch a nigga, but I'm felt now. Yeah, I'm going in and I'm showing out. Pockets heavy, they poking out. Get out. I'm trying to see what that smoke about. Fuck out of here, these throwaways. Got problems, hating nigga, go away. Trash can get thrown away. Now you hiding out like a stowaway. Pay attention to this. It's episode 3 like Revenge of the Sith. They throwing the shade, but I'm making a miss. I'm better than niggas, I'm making a list. My diamonds is yellow, I'm making them piss. My presence a blessing, she say I'm a gift. Yeah, and I put that on the dead presidents. I got a mortgage, my residence. Go get it. I just wake up and go get it. Yeah, I just wake up and go get it. I just wake up and go get it. I just wake up and go get to the back, to the moon, to the paper. I get to the rack like a Lego. Wake up and go get it. I just wake up and go get it. Yeah, I just wake up and go get it. I just wake up and go get it. I just wake up and go get it. I just wake up and go get to the back, to the moon, to the back, but I get to the rack like a Laker. Wake up and go get it. Yeah, I just wake up and go get it. Yeah, I just wake up.
Hi everyone. Welcome, Hunar, Kizzy. Control yourself. Kaizen. That was just the name of a username. I did not say that. How are you all doing? Thank you so much for joining me on day 19 of this live stream where we are going to build a React app and make it nice and make it optimized. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you all have a drink in your hand because today's stream is gonna be intense because there's gonna be a lot of code. And I definitely have some drink that I need to prepare and I'm gonna do it while we talk. I'm gonna have kava mix. Let's go. Shruti in the house. Yes, first time viewer. Nice to see you, Hunar. So glad you could join us first time. Finally able to catch the live stream. Yay! So glad you could make it. Really? Ah, shit. Let me check. Why does it happen to me? Why? Okay, let me check my stream on YouTube. Thank you for letting me know. Is it still happening? Can somebody confirm? Because I'm not seeing this anymore. It seems fine to me. Okay, let me know if you're still seeing it. And I'm gonna check live stream settings as well, just so I can make sure. Okay, stream looks healthy and the status is excellent, so that is good. I didn't find it buffering. Okay, great. Yay, thank you so much, folks. I hope you're hot water so I can make some tea, which I have readily available here. Okay, anybody who is on multi-stream, I need to remember to check all of the streams messages because I tend to focus only on one tab and I miss messages. But thank you everybody for joining today. My kava is ready. Smells so good. Fun because we're gonna add TanStack query for optimizing data fetching. And if you have been following me over the last 39 days? No, 49 days. Oh my goodness, that's a long time. 49 days. You know that we've been building a web app where we have been able to create AI features in it using Convex database. We have been able to create embeddings using Convex. It has been so much fun. Honestly, I have learned so much. I hope you all who have been joining me over these last 40 days, 49 days have learned something as well. When I started this stream, get our stream someday. Yes, I can play that song. Submarine, one day I'll play that. Minus the days you took off. Hey, your girl needs some break, okay? We'll call it 49 days. Yeah, if you have been joining me for this web app, today is a really good day because we have been so far adding features to it, but we haven't really been able to work on the performance of it. But today we're going to take some time and add a React TanStack query to it, which will actually help us take care of data loading, infinite scroll, and a lot of the data that we were sending into our front-end app can be cached and optimized, which is what we're going to do today. I am iOS developer. So should I continue on iOS for a long time or should I explore backend also and switch? I would actually not recommend switching just yet. If you graduated in 2024, it's not even been a year probably. I would say do what you'd like to do, what you enjoy doing. And if that is something that you want to continue, then keep doing iOS. Or if you feel like backend is where you want to do, then switch to backend. Honestly, it's never too late to switch. So why not just try out what you're doing and see if you like it. If you don't like iOS, then by all means switch. But in terms of jobs, you'll be able to find it both as a backend developer or as an iOS developer, so no stress there. Alrighty. Oh, also, is there anybody who is joining here for the first time? I am going to start a poll here. And if you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitter, come over to YouTube so you can enter this poll. Start a poll. Oh, let's do a Q&A actually. What questions do you have for me? I don't know if I've ever done this Q&A. So I don't know how this works. Oh, you are joining for the first time? Nice to meet you, Arnav. Oh, okay, what questions do you have for me? And I'm going to take these questions as I go through this app today, which I'm going to actually get going as well. Meanwhile, Kaizen, you're joining for the first time? Really? Okay, let me close my extra tabs. Extra tabs. Keep this open for stream health. Gotta move my commit my code. Okay, did anybody write any questions yet? No questions. Okay, that's good. Just checking if you remember your viewers. Of course I remember you. Dinesh Singh Bhisht. Hey Dinesh, welcome. It feels very weird saying that name out loud because that is my dad's name as well. Okay, let me add stuff that I did. Git add, git commit, git commit, adding, what did I do? Adding jokes. Git push. Alrighty. Meanwhile, here's a poll for you. And Q&A. Actually, how do poll questions work in YouTube? Let me see. Can I see your questions? Can anybody type a test question for me? I just want to check if I can see any questions. Go to channel. Try just typing like test. From Geo7, and I'm happy. Geo7 is what? What is PPO? Geo7. Oh, I didn't know it was bought by Geo now. That's awesome. Wait, when you say PPO, I'm guessing it's an offer, which is great. Alrighty, confirm. Now here's a poll for you. Start a poll. Have you pre-placement offer? Oh, gotcha. Have you ever used? How is that different from like an offer? Is it like a conditional offer? TanStack query. Yes, no. Start poll. Close. After internship, you get full-time offer if you perform well. Oh, gotcha. That's awesome. Congratulations, Arnav. I hope you get the full-time offer. All right, now here's a poll for you. Have you ever used TanStack query? Yes or no? And why I'm asking this question is because it'll help me go into detail when I open the code or when I share this code. And speaking of which, I should probably get my app running, learning AI. GitHub. I'm also going to share this GitHub repo with you and pin this message. You're allowed to complete your studies and join later. Okay, so it's like internship. Pin message. Okay, so somebody has used TanStack query and somebody hasn't, which is good. There's like 50-50. Okay, let me share my screen. Change some music because that music is intense. Also, if you're joining here for the very first time, I want to quickly introduce myself and the stream and what we're about to do. We have been building a AI learning application where we have been creating a real estate app with the help of OpenAI, LangChain, Convex, Tailwind CSS, and we have been adding features to it so we can fetch from a real estate app, and we can fetch from Zillow, which is our real estate API, so we can show people some properties. Oh shoot, npm run dev, what happened? Cannot find rollup. Npm has a bug related to optional dependencies. Npm try again after removing package lock and node modules. All right, rmrf, that moment when you open your repo after a week and everything is broken, that's what's happening. So if you have joined in the previous streams, you would also know that we actually built a recommendation engine in OpenAI. I actually really like building this OpenAI, this recommendation engine, because I've been wanting to do it for a long time. And I kind of did not really have any idea. I kind of knew like I need to have vector embeddings, but I had no other idea besides that. So in this app, in this repo, I created this recommendation engine, and we actually worked on all of this together, which was really fun because you may think like, oh, this has so many features and she must be working on it outside. But actually, other than this, I don't spend time on it at all. So whatever you see here is like the legit thing. And today we're going to add TanStack query to it. And why we want to add TanStack query is because we actually spent some time talking about this, and it might be written in README to do. We spent some time talking about what we want, like some of the performance optimizations we want, things like implement pagination, infinite scrolling, which TanStack query gives us outside of the box, being able to cache a URL based on the ID of a property. So we're going to use TanStack query for this. Also, if you're ever interested in learning React, and you don't know where to start, or you want to like practice your skills, this is a great repo because this has some of the things that you can start off with, which is design the homepage, design property details page, design property card. I've put them down as a good first issue. Oh, there are some pull requests as well. Oh yeah, I saw these. Moving to Tailwind CSS v4. And I've also linked the Figma link here, which you can open to see what the component should look like. So this would be a great repo to practice your front-end skills as well. I'm going to also remove my package log JSON and then npmi again. Wait, what is this going on here? Oh. So this is what the app, what the kind of dream of this app is like. We want to show a search page or a search field where user can type like a sentence, and when they type a sentence, we show them more properties. So these are the properties that match their recommendation. So these are the properties that if they said like I'm looking for a 3-bedroom house, this is the properties that match what they said. And then if they like a property, we can also show them recommendations, as in these are some other properties that may look similar to the ones that you liked. And similarly, if you clicked on a property card here, we'll actually show you like a go away. I think it's this one. Yeah. So if they click on a property card, we'll show them like a property details page where we have a carousel at the top where we show photos, and then we have the price of the property. You can like the property, share it with somebody, and then we have some descriptions of this property. You can also love this property, click the love it button, and in that case we'll show you more recommendations. But if you say not for me, then we'll show you some other properties. So we'll say try these other properties, kind of like what Netflix does. Hello random guy, welcome. How's it going? So that is what we're going to do today. We're going to add TanStack query because you see, why did we add TanStack query? You see in this page, there could be like hundreds of different properties that will show up, but we don't want to show them all together. We also want to cache the properties. If the user has entered the same search phrase, we want to not have to search for it again. So TanStack query can do that for you. And also if you open a property details page, based on the ID of this property detail, we don't want to cache, we don't want to fetch from the server again. Right, which is why we are calling TanStack query, because it can actually cache on the URL itself. So the URL zip ID that we're going to send, which is the property ID, and if the property ID remains same, it will just pick that value from the cache, so we don't have to do it again. What is this property? Oh, okay. And also I want to remind you that we are running a challenge right now, which is if we reach 3,000 subscribers by February 28th, which is actually in less than 9 days, less than 10 days. Oh my God, February 28th is coming up super fast. And I'm going to show this to you here. If we get to 3,000 subscribers by February 28th, we're going to make chai together, and I'm going to answer all of your questions. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. And this is the stream where we're going to do that. It's a 3,000 sub challenge, chai and chat. Live in 8 days. Don't have a lot of time. I'm sure we can get there, but I need your help in getting there. So if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. And thank you so much. Let's get into it today. So let's get our package running actually. Let's see what other things have broken. npm run dev. Oh, hold on. npm I. Hopefully the font is big enough. I'm gonna get some music going, something different as well. Some lo-fi music. All right, there you go. Packages installed, npm run dev. Cool. And then localhost 5173. Sweet. Okay. Now if I fill and search, this is the app that we've built so far. Now if I fill and search, oh, connection refused. Right. Forgot to run like 20 different things. So then you do npm run, oh, nodemon server.js. Wait, what? npm I dash save node save dev nodemon. Okay, nodemon server.js. Server, no, wait, nodemon.com. What? Why is nodemon not found? What's in my package JSON? Oh, nodemon is here. Very interesting. npm I nodemon. Let's try. Weird. npx nodemon server.js. I'm pretty sure I was just doing nodemon just like that. let's see. I must have written that in the readme. Readme. Yeah. Okay. I think it could be the updated version of Node. Okay. And there is one more thing, which is convex step. Is it convex step? Okay, and then update this. npx. Alrighty. Okay, now if I search, I see a little loader, which is actually from TanStack query. You usually install NodeMon at the global level. Oh, is it? I didn't know that NodeMon is installed on the global level. Oh yeah, you're right. Or save dev. That's what I did. You can also install it as a development dependency. And then you do NodeMon on your Node app. Then why did it error out for me? Also installed as a development agency. Weird. Okay. All right. Okay. So now you see that we have some properties going here. We entered a search which said looking for a 3-bedroom house in Seattle in the starting range of this to this. That is a huge range. So let's actually give 2 million. So now if I hit search, what is this? 1 million? 1 million to 2 million. And then now if I hit search, it's gonna look for properties. This is actually not in the range, but this is an error that we've been seeing, which we're gonna fix in a while, which is actually, it shows properties that are not in the range. Sometimes that happens. I don't know why this is happening, but we can fix it. Oh, look at this cheap ass property. Okay, this is a nice property. Okay, but what you can do is if you hit the like button, we actually want to show you more properties at the bottom. And this is why we need TanStack query here, because look like the long list that is here. But at the bottom of this list, we show you IDs of properties that actually match our database. We haven't pulled these properties from database yet, but these are the properties that we think match your property. Hi Aditya, welcome back. So good to see you again. If you add NodeMon as save dev, then you need to add dev script as well to invoke NodeMon. Gotcha. Okay, that was probably what the problem is, because I think last time I installed it as a global dependency and then I could do NodeMon name of my app. Okay. So this is what happens, right? If you fill and search, and then if you click on something, and then you'll see like the property details page. We haven't built this page, yes, yet, but you'll see like, we'll see the details page. And then if you go back, you see this property again. Wait, what happened there? Hold on. Go back, fill and search. Oh, sometimes it doesn't search, does it? Network, search. Okay, it is searching. Okay, found some properties. Now if I click on this one, for example, I get this detail page, but then now if I go back, I still see this. So it is cached now, which is great. And I think that is because we were already able to add TanStack query last time. So I'm going to go back to property details page and show you what's going on. No, properties homepage, which is the app.jsx. Okay, on the last in the last stream, we were actually using use query, which is coming from TanStack React Query, which is the TanStack router. So we're using use query, which is how we call this fetching function. So we get the data from properties and then get properties from natural language. That is where we call our backend API. And so once we get parse properties, that's how we send the search input over, this search text over to our backend, which goes in parse properties. And then the form data is search input here, and then we send this data back to, where is this data coming? This is the data, and then this comes down in properties here, which is this render properties function. And then the properties function checks if properties exist, then it shows this properties and shows a list of properties. And this is the properties that's coming from TanStack query, properties here. And that is how we're loading this data. %67% of people have used TanStack query, which is awesome. Alrighty, so the next step actually is, now if we go to our to-do app, to-do list, what else do we have? We've got the show recommendation properties in the UI. This is currently in progress because we're showing like these properties at the bottom, but you see we have like these bunch of properties showing. We kind of want to paginate them. We don't want to show all of these properties together. So we will do that today, which is implement pagination. Showing recommendation properties in the UI is actually a simple task and actually would be a good task for somebody to do as well if they're interested. A good second issue, if not first issue. Good second issue. Basically, you have the ID of the item from the database. You just need to do a use query from the database. You need to call the database functions, which is convex here, and then you need to get that property. That's all you need to do. So it's actually pretty straightforward. So property listing, this is my convex database, but if I go over to my data, you'll notice that these are the IDs that our recommendation engine is showing. So all you have to do is fetch this property. But I'm going to implement pagination, because that is the more hard part. So let's do that. How are we going to implement pagination? We know that TanStack query can do this for us, so let's open TanStack query. What is your take on AGI? Will we get there? And have you seen the new development on AI agent works like LangGraph, LangMem, Pydantic? I think there is a lot of worry, I feel like, in the industry right now that AI systems are going to replace us. especially with the agentic model now, where every company is now starting to say that they don't need developers because agents can do all of the work for them. I honestly feel that you don't need to be scared of AI. There, especially AI agents. I think it is actually a really good idea to learn AI editors and sorry, not AI editors, AI agents and how to build an AI agent. I don't think that software engineers will be replaced by AI agents. I think some of the work that we do today will be taken care of AI agents for us, even AI tools for us. So I would say start investing in your AI skills, which is honestly why I'm doing this live stream as well, because I want to invest in my AI skills. And so by coming here and being accountable to you, I am helping myself stay updated. But what I would say is that if you are not investing in AI skills right now, then it's going to be harder to find roles. I think AI is gonna AI either interfacing with AI models or building an AI app or building AI agents. This is gonna be something that we all have to do, at least 2 to 3 years down the line. I think this is gonna become part of our development life. So the faster you learn these skills, I think the better it's gonna be. I don't think they will completely replace software engineers, but I think we're gonna have to up level our skills. That's what I would say. Which code editor is this? This is VS Code. My thought is, oh my god, the font is so small. I wish there was a way to change the font. Okay. AI agents can make a quick MVP, but miserably fails in distributed systems and large code bases. I think that is also true for now. Maybe now it's not able to do that, but they're becoming better. But I think again, like right now, today, for example, in order to create this, app, I can tell AI to do this app, and I can give it some prompts, and it can create like similar looking app. Like if I can give it a Figma design, it can do that. But then as an engineer, I need to figure out where are the places where data needs to be optimized and where are the places where I can add some other libraries. AI agents right now are not able to do that for you. So as engineers, you'll have to keep like leveling up your skills and keep like working on not just adding components or not just building a UI, but also thinking deeper in terms of the architecture. That is actually how we level up to senior and staff engineers and beyond. And I think that is going to become even more important. So something that you should learn if you want to keep leveling up is system design. And actually shared a really good article on my LinkedIn just yesterday, so I'm going to share that again, which is how some of these designs work. This one. Wait, no, not this one. This one. Copy link to post. Here. That is a huge link. But this link actually shows some of the systems and how they are built. So, for example, Stripe, YouTube. So I would highly recommend like URL shortness architecture. This is actually something that is a really popular. Oh, they have Slack architecture as well. I didn't even know that this was here. Funny. This is actually pretty accurate. Okay, so yeah, clearly this person has done their research, and this is a really well written list of things that, of like some architecture, of some um, global architecture, of some apps that have huge architecture and are doing really well. So I would recommend read this list. I think this is pretty good list. My LinkedIn link. My LinkedIn is this. If you ever send me a LinkedIn request, make sure you tell me that you're joining from my Discord, otherwise, or like from my stream. Otherwise, the messages get submerged in the list of messages that I have. Hello, Hazrat. Welcome back. How are you? Exactly, Kizzy. These things are correct right now, but it'll not be true in the future. It just becomes better and better, right? Okay, let's get back to this. All right, paginated queries, that's what we need. Oh, what about infinite queries? TanStack query supports a useful version of useQuery called useInfiniteQuery for querying these type of lists. When using useInfiniteQuery, you'll notice a few things are different. Data is now an object containing infinite query data. Data.pages array contains the fetched pages. Data.pageParams array. Interesting. Has next page, has previous page. Okay. Oh, they have a cursor-based approach. We create a load more UI by waiting for useInfiniteQuery. But actually, we don't need useInfiniteQuery. And the reason is that these are all the properties that match our recommendation. And I think Zillow API probably sends you like, I don't know, like 50 items. So we don't need infinite querying, but we do need a paginated list. So let's look at that. Rendering paginated is a very common UI pattern in TanStack query. It just works by including the page information in the query key. Query key is projects end page. However, if you run the simple example, you might notice something strange. The UI jumps in and out of the success and padding states because each new page is treated like a brand new query. This experience is not optimal, and unfortunately is how many tools insist on working, but not TanStack query. As you may have guessed, TanStack query comes with an awesome feature called placeholder data that allows us to get around this. Better paginated queries with placeholder data. Okay, 60% of people have not used TanStack query. Interesting. I will then share the link to this documentation. Docs on TanStack query. So I would highly recommend check this out. Can I use Next.js just for the front end purpose? I am new to React world coming from Vue. Yes, you can, but I would recommend that you don't jump into Next.js just yet, because Next.js is huge. There is a lot of complexity in Next.js. In fact, React Dev mentions that you should start using a framework, but in my latest video that I made, I recommend you not go through a framework just yet. Hold on, let me share this link. Copy this, send this over. I would say use React with Vite. Send. And then I talk about like when you have to up level, what do you need to do? So watch that video. The docs do recommend start with Next.js, but my approach is to use Vite. Just get started with Vite because it's super easy to get started with Vite, with React and Vite. And Vite is just a build tool. And React is Next.js is a framework. So start with Vite, add the features that you need. If you need like data loading, add that. But Next.js, just to start off with, is going to be a lot to take on, especially if you're just getting started with React. All right. And for those of you who don't know what TanStack query is or have not used TanStack query is a data fetching library. In the video, I also talk about that if I do need to add loading and if I do need to add caching and data fetching and optimize that, I'm going to use TanStack query, which is what I'm doing here. So, you know, when you do tutorials, you might have heard of that you can use effect to add your API calls, but then in other videos and other tutorials or blog posts, you may see that people make fun of people who make use effect to fetch APIs, and then you're like, oh my god, what do I do? I'm just getting started, I don't have any idea. So here's what I would say. If you're calling an API, you can do it in use effect. Now when you call an API, you're gonna actually, we were doing this as well, you're going to start seeing issues like your data wouldn't be cached. You may be calling it multiple times depending on when your dependencies changes. So you have to manually manage your dependencies. So as you add more complexity, your app starts to get more and more complicated. And at that point, I would recommend that you think of either a state management solution, like if you have a lot of interactions in your data and one component needs to send data over to another component, then you can act something like Redux or even Zustand. I don't even know. Zustand? I don't know how to say that word. Zustand, it's basically spelled Zustand. So you add that. Otherwise, if you need optimizations in the way you call your APIs, or you need to cache your data when you load the data, just like what we are doing here, then use TanStack query. TanStack is a lifesaver. It is a really great library, and I have not used it for a long time. This is actually the first time I'm trying TanStack query, and I have been really impressed. It is doing a lot of things that I wanted to do and had to do manually, so it's able to take care of that for you, and I think it's like really well thought out. Hats off to Zustand. Is it Zustand? I saw this video by Jack Harrington, and he has a really... Jack Harrington, Zustand. Hey, YouTube just changed their UI. Look, the search text is a lot more padding now. Okay, hold on. Zustand. How does he say
of React state managers using TypeScript, and this time we're going to look at Daishi Kato's Zustand. It's a
Zustand. Because it's a German word. Okay, let's keep reading. Better paginate placeholder data. Consider the following example where you would ideally want to increment a page index for a query. If you were to use query, it would still technically work fine, but the UI would jump in and out of the success and pending states as different queries are created and destroyed for each page or cursor. By setting placeholder data to previous data or previous to this or keep previous data function exported from TanStack query, we get a few new things. The data from the last successful fetch is available while new data is being requested, even though the query has changed. Interesting. When the new data arrives, the previous data is seamlessly swapped to show the new data. This placeholder data is made available to know what data is currently providing you. What? Made available to know what data the query is currently providing you. Okay, so you get keep previous data. And so the way you do this is you have use query, and then you have a query function, which is where you get your fetching stuff. But in the query key, you provide this additional parameter called page, and then in the fetch, you have this page equals this. So I think that means that your API should be able to support pagination as well. And then your placeholder data is keep previous data, so that is being provided to your use query function. Zustand, I speak normally, Zustand. Zustand. That's what I was doing too in the beginning. Then I saw Jack's video and I was like, oh, it's like a German word, like Zustand. It is actually German, apparently. What was that sound? Okay. Right, so what do we have to do? Where is this placeholder data coming from? Oh, that's coming from use query. Okay, so is placeholder data. Does TanStack has any tool where we can see the data that it has stored? Actually, that's a good question. I know that router is here, and I don't think that is. I don't think that. Let's see. So if I click this, and then I go back, it does a success, which basically means that it was able to find that in the cache. But then if I go down and click something that it does not have in the cache, so if I click on that and then I go back, and then I open like the same page again. I think this was the page that I opened. No. Let's go and find that again. This, no, not this one. This one, this one, this one. Should have given it matches. Because nothing happened here. I don't know, we can find that out. Oh, it does say DevTools here. Okay, DevTools, React Query DevTools. Yes, there are. So I'm going to copy this over here and paste that over here. We should get this as well. Open another one. Install this, and I should probably save this as well. Okay. Let's go ahead and add this into our app. It says the higher it is, the better it is. So we're going to add this in our app.jsx file. And then I'm going to pass this a provider, query client provider. I think I added this somewhere else. There. So I'm going to add this here. Query client provider, and then I just need to give it a initial was open, false. Okay, let's get this pagination going. Oh, no worries, Chirag, you're fine. Okay, where were we working on? Wait, nobody's calling this? Fetch details. Property details, properties list. App.jsx. This app.jsx is huge. I really need to fix this. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to work on cleaning this app. Okay, so where is my use query? Use query is right here. What I have to do here is get this, is fetching, what is the value? Is placeholder data. Is placeholder data, and then I need to add that in here. Pages, no, page, ref.current. Why do I have ref.current here? Oh, I know. This is the search input actually. And then I'm saving it here. Because, oh yeah, I know why this is, I'm doing this. Because when I move forward, that state value is gone. So I'm storing it in ref.current because that value does not get reloaded. Because when you move forward and back, that value doesn't get reloaded. So if I go back, and if I have something in fill and search, oh, look at that. So many tools. Okay, so I've got this. And then if I hit search, and I click on this, in the starting range of this, go back. So it is still here. Oh, these 1 zeros and zeros are like the starters. One is fresh. How many properties do we have? 200 items? That is a lot of properties. Okay, we clearly don't want to put 200 items in here. Alrighty, so what we want to add here is, I think it's called keep paginated data, placeholder data, keep previous data. So let's add that here. And then keep previous data at the top. So I wonder if this works if I don't send this page number over. Oh, and you set page number yourself. You still kind of have to build pagination yourself. So look at this. Hi Harshit, I'm late. How are you doing? I am good. How are you? Oh, thank you for following, Vishnu. Okay, so you still have to build this pagination system yourself. So you see here they have a use state. I don't know if this is big enough. So you have a const page. You have a React use state, which you set 0. And then as you move forward, you like click on this button. And then you set the page to be the next button. And then you fetch more. We actually don't want that. We do want that you keep moving through this. And then we have sort of like an infinite scroll. So let's look into use infinite query. Data is now an object containing infinite query data. For us, that's like 200 numbers, which is fine, like 200 properties, which is fine. Data.pages array contains the fetched pages. Data.page params array contains the page param used to fetch the pages. How does this work? So you get cursor. So your API should be able to have cursor pagination. With this, we create a load more UI, waiting for user input query to request the first group of data by default, returning the information for the next query and get next page param, calling fetch next page function. We might be able to fake it because we have 200 items in the array anyway, so we might be able to fake it by just like slicing off of that array and not having to fetch over and over again. So initial next page param is 0, get next page param is last page pages, and then get the next cursor. So for us, get next page param is gonna be last page plus like 10 or 20, whatever number we want to add. Okay, let's try this. What are they using? They're using use infinite query. Let's try this. Let's try building with use infinite query. Infinite query. And then at the top, I'm gonna add use infinite query. Okay, they've already added this. We don't need keep previous data. There is a new AI news. God. It's like you can't keep up. Okay, so is fetching next page, fetch next page, has next page. See, we get all of this from infinite query, the hook itself, just so neat. So I'm gonna get this fetch next page. We don't need is placeholder data, and then we're gonna get is fetching. I don't know if we need is fetching, but we're gonna keep it. Is fetching next page, and then the status. So this is use infinite query. Query key is gonna stay as ref.current, which is the text that we have. Query function is the same. Fetch projects, it just takes in page param. Initial page param is 0 for that. That is the same thing for us. What was this enabled do? I forgot what enabled did. Let's get rid of this. Initial page param 0, get next page param is gonna be get rid of this. What is this? All pages. So if last page, I'm gonna return like 10 values. Last page dot length. Hold on. Last page greater than data dot length less than or equal to less than data dot length, then last page plus, I'm gonna call it last item, and then this is going to be all items. This is going to be all items. Last item plus 10, otherwise undefined. I don't know what this is going to send back, so I'm going to console log all items. And I'm going to console log data as well. I have no idea what's in this, so let's go ahead and test this real quick. Okay, data is not defined. That is because it's called properties now. Properties. Okay. Cannot access properties before initialization. Okay, screw you. I have all items. Alrighty. Okay. Fill and search. Okay. Okay, it already says this is stale. Wait, what happened? Search. Okay, fetching went to true and then it said stale. Automatically the data was stale. So I don't know what happened. So I'm going to open my console log. Okay, all items has all of the data that we had, and then last item, oh, if last item is less than all items start length, then last item plus 10, otherwise okay, there is an error in this. How will this work if the API is returning the full 200 results? Grok 3 is now available for free. Best model on earth, I don't know. How will this work if the API is returning the full 200 results? So what this is doing is actually calling a cursor based fetch. So the cursor is actually coming from the next page param. But for us, when we call this API, we actually don't have this cursor based approach first thing. But then also when we call our API, we get all 200 items. So what I want to do is that even if we get 200 items, I only want to show the first like 20 items. And then as we scroll, I want to see the next items. I could put this in the backend and send this cursor over to the backend, and then it can just like send the next items over. But then when we have fetched this API, we're getting like all 200 values. So I could put it in the backend actually. Why not? I just think that would be a better approach anyway. You should be instead having the API paginated. I don't want to get API paginated because I don't want to click on a button. I want to be able to infinitely scroll through it. What does this next page brown do? Data.pages array containing the fetched pages. Page params array containing the page params used to fetch the pages. In the fetch next page, functions are now available. Fetch next page is required. Oh wait, I think we did not supply this fetch next page. Where is this fetch next page? Oh, on click fetch next page. Which is kind of pagination as well. Oh, there it is. Manually removing the first page, you do set query data projects, and then pages is data.pages slice. Page params is data.page params slice first. Oh. Okay, I think I need to use some slicing. So let's get that going. Let's see. First, I need to set query data. Ooh, select. Check the page. If this is, you can use select option. Pages, this. Page params, this. Wait, what does the select do? Pages, this in the reverse option. Page params does that. I think we should look into this. Okay. What is this? Use infinite query. Let's look into its API. Get next page param. When the data is received as query, this function receives both the last page of the infinite list of data, a full array of pages, as well as page param information. It should return a single variable that will be passed as the last option parameter to your query function. Return undefined or null to indicate there is no next page available. Get previous page param, maximum pages. Can I share a code? Yeah, try sending the code. If it doesn't go through here, try sending it in Discord. Const all data ref is used ref. No. Okay. I think I'm gonna try slicing some stuff. I don't know what this select does. Okay. Select data pages. Slice, and what if I want to give it like 20 items? And then page params dot page params dot slice 20 items. I don't know what this will do. Let's give it a shot. If I've done this correctly, then it should be able to only give me the first 20 items. Close this down. Okay, fill in. Okay, param is not a function. Okay. What is the next page param? Last page dot next cursor. Okay, fill in search. Fetching. Pages slice 20, which is data.pages. It only has one item. Okay. Okay, let's do what they recommend. So basically they say if you fetch projects, you want to pass in the cursor and then the page param, which is the stuff that the next cursor, and then if you click on this, you fetch the next page. Which is how you get more data. Sent on Discord, let me check. I'm gonna bring this over here. Okay, page param is 0. If page param is 0, fetch the entire data set from the API. Const all data is this. Return data slice first 20 items, else page param plus 20. And then you're doing this within your component. Oh, you're doing this within the query function. Oh, I see. Within the query function, get properties from natural language. Okay, and in the get next page param, you do calculate the total number of items displayed so far. Total displays is this dot length. Oh, neat. Let me try this. Okay, so what you have done is actually use the query function, and then they're using fetch projects here, which is where the page param is, and then you get more data here. Query function has page param. If page param is 0 on the first page, fetch the entire data set. Okay, I'm gonna copy this over down here. If page param, the first one is gonna be 0. If this is 0 on the first page, fetch the entire data set from the API. All data is this. So for that we don't need. We have response data. This is all data ref. Store the full data set in the ref. Why do you do that? Just so it's not thrown away during reloads. Okay. Hold on. Get this out of here. Response. We call this URL, and then you check if page param is 0. We fetch this API. You got response JSON, and then const data equals. No, you get that in response data. Return response data dot JSON 0 to 20, return the first items. Return otherwise if page param is not 0, then you get start equals this response data dot JSON, and then you don't. And I think the reason you're doing data ref is so you don't have to call it on every page param changing. Next slice from the stored items, return the first 20 items. Start and end. We're missing one thing, that we have to call the fetch next page function, so we get back from infinite query call. Then when we scroll down and see the last row, then trigger the next call. They do that on button on click, so we can do that as well. But I need the get next page param, which I think I don't need the select here. I'm gonna copy the function that you sent me, flatten the pages into single to render. Hold on. What happened here? Get next page param. This is additional. Okay. Okay. Total number of items displayed so far. This is all pages dot length. If all items have been displayed, stop pagination. So this is all data ref. What they're doing get page, get next page. Oh. What if my API doesn't return a cursor? If your API doesn't return a cursor, you can use page param as a cursor. Pages, last page param, so you do just that. Because get next page param and get previous page param also get the page param of the current page, you can use it to calculate the next previous page. I had the ref since we need the total count from. I know, I removed that. So how could you get that without storing the date? That's what I'm thinking. The docs mentioned the case if API gives the full 200 at once, then they don't mention the docs. Yeah. I had the ref since we need the total count we got from the API. Yeah, I was just thinking if we still need the ref. We have this ref here. We can create a all data ref. All data ref. And we are storing it as a response data. I think you have being updated here equals response data dot JSON, and then you can just do dot slice and then dot slice. Now what I don't know if we need this get next page param, all of this stuff, but let's try it. Then one thing that we are missing is the fetch more, which they are adding as a button. Click that. I'm gonna put that in render properties. Oh, wait. So they do group.data, data.pages.map. Oh yeah. So in our render properties, which is coming from data.properties, do we still have that? We have data, and then we have data.pages. So we might have to do data is property, so we have to do properties.pages. This is so complicated, my head is hurting already. This is pages, pages.fly. Right, so this is gonna be properties.pages. We have group.data, data.pages, right? So we're going to do properties.length.pages, and then properties is this dot pages. Ugh. Okay, let's see. Fill and search. So many errors. Okay, something cannot destructure property bedrooms of property as it is undefined, which is fine. Our consoles, what is this? Inactive. Data Explorer pages. Okay. Fill and search. All data ref is not defined. That is because this, I think it had a where all data ref. All data ref. Fix that. All data ref. Okay. All data ref is not defined. And that is coming from, that's here. Oh, there's a typo. Okay, reload this. Fill and search. Okay, cannot destructure bedrooms of property as it is undefined, which is fine because I think bedrooms is in render properties, and that is coming from properties.pages, properties list. So we can render what we get back from properties right here. Const render properties. And if it's just a matter of flattening it out, then we can do that. All right. Oh shit, what happened? We're return, not here, return. Wait, apply. Okay, what happened? Hold on. There. What the? What did I do? Okay. Return this. All right. Okay. Cannot destructure bedrooms of property, which is fine. I think it's in bedrooms details. Property is undefined. Okay, what do we return? Oh, thank you for following. Almost scared me. TanStack app has stopped responding. Is it? No, I think it's fine. It's probably I need to destructure properly. But what I'm trying to test is what is the data that I'm sending back. Okay. Alrighty, console. Cannot destructure property of undefined bedrooms. What's happening to my music? Okay, it's actually here. This property details. Probably it doesn't have property details in here. Cool. All right, let's try this again. Okay, 20 properties, good. Result type property. Wait, go back. Something broke with that, but let's check in here. So we're getting property this. Result type is property. Good, because we asked for 20 items, and then on the first load we are getting 20 items. So that's good. We are getting a 500. Cannot destructure property of undefined as. Why is there a 500 from? Oh wow. The JSON is too much. Oh, hold on. How do they fetch? They've got fetch response.json. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Response.json, all data.ref.current, console.log. Okay. So the error that I'm seeing is y'all can hear me okay still? Hopefully yes. That some frames are being skipped. Y'all can hear me stream okay? Is healthy? Still? Good. Okay. Yes, audible. Okay, thank you. Then just my music then. Okay. Just a little buffering. For buffering, you know, on YouTube, I may have to, what is this, 6800 kbps. For some reason, Streamlabs keeps resetting my kbps. Should be fine. Alrighty, what was I doing? Okay, reload. Oh no, what happened? Okay. Okay. Wait, what? Dude, at least let me try. Okay, fill and search. Cannot read property of undefined as it is undefined. Cannot read property of undefined as it is undefined. Neat. Coming from I think in this my data actually has 0 items. Cannot read property of undefined. That might be at the render property. This recommended properties might be at this properties dot properties list. Properties list is in here. Property is this. Property is here because it is undefined, and that has to become this properties, which apparently is undefined, which means that minimize this properties dot page. What's in properties dot pages? Console dot log properties, and let's see the value that I get back. Inspect console, reload. So many. Okay, properties has pages and page frames. Okay, this is undefined. In JSX, remove the add properties data dot pages. Oh, flatten it out. Properties dot pages. There is no, because I think the first time we load, we haven't loaded any data yet. And that is actually because of this properties dot pages. Okay, this is interesting. Even though there is data in test, which is get properties from natural language, we still don't have value in the render property. Okay, what is the recommendation? The issue is just missing a single test variable return. I forgot returning the test. The test. Oh, you're right. That is why there was data here, but properties was null. And then I need to console log this slice data. Thank you. That was so helpful. I added a variable called test and I console logged it, and there was value in here. And then I was wondering why there's nothing coming through the properties. That's because I wasn't returning test. Oh my god, what happened? Alright, so fill cannot read property bedroom of property as it is undefined in properties list. You know what? If no property and doesn't have a zip ID, return null. How's that? Okay. Fill in search. Alrighty. So we have properties.pages. This has the data that we need. Okay, it's not rendering, which is fine. We can flatten it out, but test has values, which is the first 20 properties, and then properties. Flatten this out. Properties.length, properties.pages. Properties.pages has the 0th item. Flat. Okay, there we go. So we should be getting only 20 properties now. So we got this. Okay, a lot of properties, which is nice. But now we need to fetch more properties. And that they say you can do by clicking on this fetch next page. So let's do that. And then what happens when you fetch next page? I think it gets you the next page from. So let's try that. For this, we actually are going to implement this button, but typically we would want like a page observer. So when you hit that threshold of the viewport, it gets more items. But let's have a button right now. Hopefully these items are still defined. Has next page, is fetching next page. Okay, nice. Let's see. So now if I search, then at the bottom, do I have a button? If I click load more, loading more. Okay, I hope these are not repeated values. No, they're not. Yay! Okay, and then if I load more, so loading more. It's pretty slow actually. For something that is actually still, you have to call again. Unless it's actually calling again. Slice data. Okay, it is slice data, right? Because it's not the first time you're fetching. And then once it's not the first time, you have all of the data in the ref, hopefully. We need to move this data out of the ref into something better, but I'm gonna lock this value in the data ref to see what is. Fill and search, all data ref. Okay, we have 200 items. And then the test only has 20 items, so that's what we load. And as you go down, we get data from all data ref still has, and we get 20 more properties, which is what we need. Nice. So that's how you implement pagination. A lot of help from Kizzy here, but this is neat because you get only 20 properties in the beginning, but then you start getting more and more properties. And then we only fetch once from the database. Like we only fetch once from the API parse properties. We store it in the data ref, because of which it doesn't reload. Some this in the ref, you can store it in a state management, but you don't need to add state management just for this. Or in Redux. Okay, I'm gonna return this, clean this up. Alright, let's commit this. Tell us about yourself, where you study, how did you apply for SLAB, what process we need to follow, advice for beginners. Where I study, I actually grade 12 in India, then I moved to Canada and did my undergrad in Canada. I moved to the US when I was, I moved to the US 8 years ago actually. I have been working at Slack for the last 3 years as a front-end developer. Some of the items that I built that you might have used is font selection in Slack. So in your settings in Slack, you can go ahead and change font. I built that. I did not this before, but I built that. Something else I also worked on was huddles in Slack. I'm so distracted because my mind is still like thinking about this code. I think this get next page param was actually a bit they actually expect, the documentation expects that you should have cursor, like your pagination, your API expects you to have this cursor pagination, and then like the hard part is kind of taken care by the pagination. So you like you get the next cursor and then you just like send it over. But then also like the difficult part was also getting for us was also like getting this. So this is something that is interesting here, which is we only fetch once on the first page load, keep the data in the current. And Kizzy actually sent this over, so reading what he's saying. But we store this data in the ref and then we slice it based on your page parameters. So if your page parameters have increased, like if you're on the next page, then we slice from that point to the next point, which is interesting, which is kind of like what pagination, this cursor pagination ourselves. So we are the ones maintaining cursor. And by cursor, I mean where we are in the API, like how much we have. Is it built using WebRTC or custom solution? WebRTC, yes. Time to use intercept, no, right? Why is it so slow for client side? Might be since our architecture of components is not good and not memoized. We have so many states and everything changing. We should break them. Yeah, totally. I think this app.jsx file actually has a lot of data in it, and it can be definitely cleaned up. So have in our to-do. We actually came a long way, you know. State management done. We took TanStack query. Implement pagination also done today. So that's great. In progress. Fetch property from the database based on its recommendation ID, and then design some of these components. Code refactor. So tomorrow, improve loader component. We actually did that as well. Like, I mean, but tomorrow we can do this. We can do code refactor, and then we can component. Add React compiler, lazy load images, React scan, server-side rendering. And then after that, we're actually going to do server-side rendering. I'm going to keep this as the topmost thing in the performance optimization because there's a lot of stuff we can move to the server. Actually, we're only loading once, so there's already a lot we can doing. But then I'm going to move this design properties page over to after the recommendation ID. Let's do that. And then hopefully by, what day is it? February 19th. Tomorrow I'm going to do this. And improve the loader component. And then on the 21st, which is going to be the Friday, I'm going to move on server-side rendering. So if you're ever wondering which stream is going to be what, that's what this is going to be. And then if anybody has time, I would love if you could do either some of these first issues or the second issue. But if you need help on this, feel free to message me on Discord. Updating. Okay, there was another question, which is how to get hired in Slack. Slack actually has a pretty nice interview process. I think the first thing that you need to work on is your resume. Like once your resume is getting noticed by recruiters, it becomes a lot easier to get hired because you're already in front of the interviewers. And then it's a matter of like studying front end stuff. There are some resources. I'm going to put this in an ebook. I've actually been writing an ebook on interviewing and some of the stuff that you can work on, and this used to get hired and all of the resources that I use. So I'm gonna put that in an ebook. It'll be available for free, but I'm gonna send this out to on my Substack. So if you're not followed, go ahead. This will be an ebook with the most common interview questions I got asked. I've actually stored all of the questions people have asked me, and there have been a common pattern in especially Java. So I'm gonna send that over to people in my newsletter. And this won't be published on the Substack itself. It will be only published to the email list. So if you haven't signed up to Substack, go ahead and sign up, because that will be the list I'll send it over. But before I leave you there, I want to also talk about like what kind of questions they ask. At Slack, the interview, they don't actually do like lead code questions or like draw on a whiteboard type of questions. They ask you to review a pull request, and your technical capabilities are assessed based on how, because there's a lot of issues in the pull request, there's a lot of errors, and you have to kind of understand what's going on, but also like be able to show that to the other person and help them understand what's going on. So what they're also assessing is not just your technical capabilities, but also your empathy and the way you can mentor and lead people, because that's very important at Slack. After you clear that is actually the first assessment. After you clear that, then there's a series of system design, technical, deep expertise questions. And you're building, they keep asking you more and more questions on your skills. They'll give you a problem and you're asked to solve that. But there isn't any other, which is very interesting and very different from other companies. And I really like that. So, also, if you don't want to do the coding assignment or like the pull request, then you can also ask to get a in-person coding assessment, which is more typical, like the lead code type of questions. Actually, it's not even lead code, it's more like the front-end question. So yeah, it's very different from other companies. I've never seen kind of like this GitHub review pull request type of interview before, but so hopefully that helps. Alrighty, folks. This is the end of the stream. This was a really productive stream. Thank you so much to everybody who helped out. Thank you so much to everybody who also voted in this, which is, have you ever used TanStack query? If you haven't voted yet, go ahead and click the poll in YouTube. There is a poll here that asks, have you ever used TanStack query? Yes or no? And the reason I'm asking this is depending on how many people have used it, I'm going to go deeper into. This is the first time that I use TanStack query to add pagination. So pretty interesting process. Not as straightforward as I thought, to be honest. But cool, that's all we have for today. Thank you so much, folks, for joining. Tomorrow I will see you again. Tomorrow we're going to clean up this app, make it nice, optimize this, use some memorizations. What version of React do I have? I could also add React 18.3. We can add compiler tomorrow. All right, folks, I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be another fun one. Bye.